Hi everyone, here is Damien Levy. Welcome to this series of binary option videos. Hi everyone and welcome in this webinar where I will explain to you the result of 1 month analysis of our signal, around 700 signal in 1 month. During the last month I tracked all our signals with the methodology that I will explain to you all. So it's like 690 different signal, and for each signal I recorded if it was a call or put, not very important, the strike rate, the expiration, 30 minutes or 5 minutes, and if it was in the money, out of the money, if there was a news, if it was during a lunch or London open or session opening or something like that, the day of the week, so Friday, Monday, etc., the time to be able to know what part of the day touch most of the signal. Then if for example it was a 5-minute setup, I didn't record if it was a 5 minute in the money for IQ option. Why is that? Because the analysis is made based on the chart, and the probability that we compute to find the signal are made on a specific chart for 5-minute time frame. So when we take a trade, if we want to be some kind of reliable on the probability that we take on a chart, we might take the end of the candle. So that's what I do. So for a 5-minute setup, to count it as an in the money, it must be a winning at the end of the next candle after the first touch. If I need to count it out of the money, same process. When the price touch, it's already, for example, let's take this 5-minute chart, it remain 1 minute 46 to this candle, and it is 9:55. It's like the hour of MT4 is GMT plus 3, so on GMT time it's 9:55. So to be sure I will go on 1 minute, it's 9:57 actually, so the right expiration will be 10:05 for a 5-minute setup. That's how I compute the result for this specific track of the signal. If it's a 15-minute signal, and if it touch, for example, this yellow line at the middle of my screen, it touch it at 20, so the right expiration, since it's a yellow line, it's a 30-minute signal, the right expiration based on my analysis is 45. The end of the actual candle that touch at 20 is 30, and the next candle, end of the next candle, is 45. So you enter always at the SR, you don't never wait the end of the candle. That's how I compute all the track of the trade. So that's how I defined if it's an in the money or out of the money. Now if the entry is 3:02, the expiration will be 3:10 if it's a 5-minute signal. If it's a 30-minute signal, it will be 3:30. Then, so for a 5-minute, I also analyzed two things about the expiration. I analyzed if the 15-minute candle was in the money or out of the money, the next 15-minute candle, like if this 5-minute signal would have been taken as a 30-minute signal, what would have been the outcome? So sometimes it's in the money, sometimes out of the money. And the second is I look if it is in the money 30, but 30 it's actually 2 candles. So it means you go on 15-minute chart, for example, I will zoom in, so the price touch during this candle right here, for this specific yellow line, and the expiration for my analysis of 30 minutes exactly would have been the end of 2 candles after that. So 1 candle and 2 here, right here. So this is what I call an expiration in the money or out of the money with 30 minutes. It means it touch at this specific time, and the expiration is the end of the second candle after the touch. Why is that? Because I practiced some 30-minute expiration, it was quite good also, so I wanted to know in reality what does it make with my specific signal, and what was the result for this specific longer, a little longer expiration. But this is the way I computed my 30 minutes for out of simplicity. Okay, perfect. So now what I analyzed in those specific 2 columns was if my SR was broken what would happen next, and would it transform into a new opposite direction resistance or support, and for how many expiration time would it be efficient. So the first column is conversion support to resistance for a 5-minute trade on the next. So what does it mean? It means, for example, this yellow line is broken on the downside direction right here at this cross, this yellow cross. Maybe I should change it. So this blue cross exactly here, this is the break of our level. So what happened next? If the price moves significantly down, so it's like around 5 to 10 pips, I assume that when the price will come back up, so when the price breaks this level right here, it goes down significantly 5 to 10 pips, and when it comes back up, my goal is to take a trade in the opposite direction of my level, like that, for a put when it will touch. And I compared two sort of expiration. The first expiration was 5-minute trade, so exactly the real trade for this level was exactly here. And 5-minute end of the next candle is the end of this candle right here, and it's an in the money. So this little white doji is an in the money for having taken this level for 5 minutes for a put. Our first trade was a call at this level, and when it is broken, I take the opposite direction when it come back. So it must break from 5 to 10 pips, and when it come back, I will take in the opposite direction. Another thing that is important is the candle should not be very big, because when you have a very huge breakout, I mean the price go down widely, and after you have very big candle going up, it's not a good sign that this break was a genuine breakout. Actually, it looks like a fake out. So if you have a very big candle going up, you will not take this trade for the opposite direction, because it's risky, and it might be just a return in the ranging zone previously and break this level again. But you will see the results even with the big candle, because I didn't made any filter to that, are very good for this kind of trades. So let's come back to it. And the second column, this one, is the reversal, but not for 5 minutes, but for a 15-minute candle. So it's like if we have a signal for 30 minutes trade. First I explain how I compute it, and after you will have the most important. I want to analyze in the future the number of touch of my level before they break. So for example, let's come back to the chart. If this yellow line would have been, or this one, for example, this blue right here, and I want to make a put, and let's say it's one of the very strong level, and I see a very good rejection, I will count how many rejection this level has before it breaks. So we have 2 for now, and I will analyze in the future also this way, which will permit us to trade more the same level. So all the goal of all that is to make you take more trade, and to have an analysis that can permit us to be like in safe haven, and knowing that we have around 75 or above probability of success if we do this kind of setup. We have the currency here, so we can make, there will be an analysis of the best currency and the worst currency. After, you will have an analysis of the 30 minutes trade and the 5 minute trade separated, and the global to know the total of the two, to know what is the winning rate of each category. During the news, outside the news, what are the news that has the best winning rate, and what are the news that has the lowest or the worst winning rate, so we can know also what are the best news and the lower news. But for this specific topic, I have 700 trades in 1 month, which is already huge, but it's not enough to have, I would say, maybe more than 50 or 100 trades. We need to have 100 trades to be very sure of the probability minimum to each category. So it represents maybe 2000 trades, so we will have that after 2 months, 3 months, maybe 4. So I will continue this analysis because this is just the beginning of it. Then we have the day, so we can analyze by day what are the most profitable day and what are the worst day. By time, so I didn't filter what are the best time to trade and all that, but I filter how many percent of the trade goes from Asian London Open until London lunch, and after London lunch, which is 12 GMT, to the New York Open and the end of the London session. So we know also how much trade we'll be able to take, the people who are in Europe. So for the in the money, we can know what are the best expiration. The goal of those three columns actually, 5-minute expiration, 15 minutes, and the result is to know when there is a 5-minute setup, what are the best expiration, if there is a better to take for 15 or 30 minutes, and when we take the 30 minutes, if it's better to take it for 5 minutes, or if it's better to take it for 30 minutes or 2 candle expiration after the first touch. And obviously the reversal of the support and resistance will show us if it's best to take a 5-minute trade at the retouch of this level or a 15-minute trade, and what is the percentage of reversal efficiently. So now you know everything. If you need one day to have access to this spreadsheet, and if you have to verify the specific signal and the time they touch and all that, you can do it. I did it, and it took me like maybe 30 to 40 hours of work. But if you want to verify my work, I am more than happy to share this spreadsheet with you, and I am totally transparent with that, especially if there is a doubt about, Well, let's go to the analysis. The left column in green is the total of the signal, 30 minutes expiration and 5-minute expiration. The middle one is the 15 minutes, so 30 minute signal, and the signal, the orange one, is the 5-minute signal. So let's start with the first. The number total of trades is 686 trades during the last 4 weeks and 3 days. So it's nearly 1 month. It should be the same nearly every month. It is total of signal touch during the news, whatever event there is. It is the real total of all the trade taken. It means if you take all the signal without filtering the news, you will have the result that are shown in this specific line right here. So 686 trades. Winning rate, all hour signal, 4 weeks, 3 days, 64.58%. What does that mean? It means that if you take all hour signal without filtering any news, you are still in profit, because the minimum winning rate you need to be break-even is 56%. So we have 64% winning rate inside the news. Every trade that we take, every signal that has been published and touched represents 64% winning rate. Which means, if we take, like, for example, I just take as an example, it's not the reality, and it's just an example. If you take 4% of your account each trade without filtering anything, you would have made 467.8% profit, using 4% of your trade each time. So it's not exactly that, because when it will, it's like a compounding, so it should be even better if you use exactly 4% of your account. As soon as your account grow, your trading size will grow also, and the percentage might be even better than that. But that's it. And so if you take 2%, it will be, you divide it by 2, which is 200%. This is not the total amount of your account. This is the profit that you have made. It means on this 467%, you still have 100% of your account. So you multiply your account by a minimum 5.6. And if you just place 2% per trade, you will accomplish 200% in 1 month, taking all the trades. So it's not possible to take all the trade, and we will see we can take around 60% depending on which time frame we are. On the 15-minute, so 30 minute setup, the percentage is 63.24, and we have nearly all the trade, 70% of the trade, 574. And the profit would have been of 335, using 4% each trades. If you use the 5-minute candlestick, 5-minute setup for the signal, we have a winning rate of 71.43, but the number of trade has been only to 112. So we need more trades to be more reliable on the 5-minute setup, but until now they have been very profitable until now. Following the instruction, of course, to take the expiration at the end of the next 5-minute candle after the first touch. So during the news alone, just for information, this is not very, we will not trade that. So we have 55% all in all in this specific line, which is break even, or you make only 7% profit, and you have around 300 trades. So that means that out of 600 trades, we have half of our trade who touched during the news, which remain us only 337 trades in 1 month, but it's already around 15 trades per day, so it's quite good. Good news overall. 30 minutes trades, the percentage of winning rate is 54, and for the 5-minute trade we have 60%. So for the 5-minute trade, I can see that since the expiration is shorter, we have a little less impact on it, but we have only 43 trades, so we need also a little more data. Then go to the next, which is which we will do from tomorrow, and we started today actually. Outside the news, but with the session opening, like London, Sydney closing, and lunch of London also. New York open, I have had only signals that has been in the money, so I didn't mention them here because we have only like 6 or 10 trades and they are all in the money. The goal is to trade during the opening session or Sydney closing, London open, lunch of London, and New York open, and also every time that is outside the news event. So for this specific time we have all in all 337 trades, 75% winning rate, which is what interests us the most, and we have so 253 in the money and 84 out of the money. The profit all in all is 486%. So we take half of the trade of the global one, and with half of the trade we achieve the same percentage profit. From this one to this one, exactly the same. We just take less trade, but more quality, and the profit result is the same. For the 30-minute signal, so the percentage is 74, so nearly the same. We have 267 trades, which is quite reliable, so this percentage is quite reliable on my signal taking outside the news, and we are 74.16, which is very correct, knowing the number of trades that we have in this specific category. Then the 5-minute, and so 367% profit, and the 5-minute trades, we have 70 trades all in all, outside the news but with session opening and outside any event. The percentage winning rate is very good, it's 78.57, which is why I increased a little the number of trade of 5-minute setup, and I will do it also during the next session to make you trade more. Just follow the expiration, which is the most important, but we should remain around this percentage, and even if we go to 75, I'm okay with that. If we take maybe double or triple the number of 5-minute trades, I will be good with that. So outside news and session opening, this is what we advise since 2 months now. So since 2 months, it was something that was conscious. I wanted to advise you in the safest place as possible because of the half a week in August that hasn't been very good. So my choice led to less trades taken by everyone. So it tests the patience of a lot of people, but just a reminder, trading is made of patience. If you are patient enough, you will make profit on the long run. If you are not patient, you will just ruin your account again and again and again until you understand you have to work on your patience. So my goal, as you know, is not to provide a lot of signal if I don't know where I go and if I put your money in risk. Doing that, I know what I do, I know the percentage of profit and probability that we have, so I can take it and put you in a safer place, and that's why I did that. If we take all those signals, we have 234 signals. So 234, it's like 10 trades per day, because there is 23 days, trading days. So it's already 10 trades per day, it's not so little, as some people can say, and it's 75% winning rate, and the profit is 300% in 1 month only. So let's say you take only 6 trades per day on average during 1 month, you will make maybe 100-150% profit. It means you double your account in 1 month, following correctly the signal. For the 30 minutes signal, so still 10 trades per day, so around 7 during our time, and percentage profit quite good also. We have 50 trades only on the 5-minute setup, and the percentage is 81.25% winning rate on the 5-minute setup. That's also why I will increase this kind of setup. So now let's go to the different session opening and closing and so on. So Sydney Sydney we have 31 trades and the percentage of winning is 71 I would say. So 71 it's not the best, but it's correct. Since we make profit at 56, it's manageable to take the Sydney closing. Because I made a mistake, it's not really the German Open. The German Open 1 hour later, and depending on the winter or summertime, London varies 1 hour later also. So for the 15-minute setup, 30-minute setup, we have 77% winning rate during the German Open, and for the 5-minute setup, but we have only 9 trades, so it's not really reliable, we have 55. The London Open is the best, but once again we don't have so much data, but we still have 26 trades, and out of 26 trades we have 84% winning, which is one of the best, the best session opening actually. So for people who say that usually for London it will make a breakout, I would say if the price doesn't succeed to break of the morning of the Asian session, for example, it will not make a breakout and it will reverse, because our 26 trades show it in this way during 1 month. Now the lunch of London is the worst of the session, so we will advise to lower a little the amount, but still the percentage winning rate is 68.69%, so it's still profitable during this time. Let's go to this comparison. So this comparison is if we take the 30-minute signal for 5-minute expiration, what would happen? So I will not explain the detail, but outside of the news and during the session open, we have only 70% winning rate for this if we take a 30-minute signal on 5-minute expiration. It's not better to take a 5-minute for the 30-minute signal, and then if we want to take 2 candlesticks after the first touch, we have 72, when the original winning rate is 74. This is the comparison we can make. We have 74 using this specific expiration, which is the 1 candle after the first touch closing. And if we take 2 candles after the first touch closing of 15-minute candlestick, we have 72. So we lose 2% winning rate, but it's still 72%, so it's still profitable. So I would say it depends to you, but me, I would advise to take only the 1 candlestick after the first touch. So now let's go to the 5 minutes. So the 5 minutes, what happened when we take a 15-minute trade, like the expiration on the 30-minute signal? We have 71% winning rate, when the original one using the 5-minute end candle is 78 right here. So there is a huge difference. So for the 5 minute, the right expiration is this one, and if we take it for 30 minutes, we have 74. Aside of 78, we still have 4% difference, but once again we only have 67 signal, so we need a little more data to be more sure of this kind of event, but it looks at what I choose first is what works the best for now. The data show us that. Now let's look at the best currency pairs. The data that interests us is always the last line, outside of the news, because the total of the signal doesn't filter the news, and we know the news are not profitable at all, so no need to analyze that. OGPY has a winning rate of 70%, 71 nearly, outside the news. ODUSD, which is a more major pairs with more liquidity, has 80%. Euro OD 81%. Euro CHF 73. Euro GBP 77. 77 for Euro GPY, Euro USD, which one of the most liquid at 77, which is quite good, but not the best. The worst is GBP USD, but we have only 27 trades, so we need once again little more data, and we have 57% winning rate. The worst of our pairs is GBP USD. Then we have NZD USD, 78%, quite good. USD CAD, 75. USD CHF, 73. The other worst of our pair is USD GPY. It's a little strange because USD GPY is one of the most liquid currency pair, so it should react well to support and resistance, but it seems that it doesn't. And with GBP USD, those two are our 2 worst currency pairs. Gold, I didn't take 5 minutes and I started today and we lost one, but the 15-minute signal gave us 81% winning rate with 24 signal only, but still it's a very good win rate. And now the reversal from support to resistance. You remember when a level is broken and the price make 5 pips to 10 pips and come back to this level, we take it for 5 minutes. 5 minutes is the best winning rate, and we have a winning rate for 5 minutes of 83.22%, which is very, very good. It means when the level break down, for example, we have 80%. When it breaks down and it come back, we have 80% that it will bounce in the opposite direction for the expiration of a 5-minute candle after the first touch, which is quite awesome actually. And it confirmed what I was saying to some before the analysis. So then, the number of the signal, because when we take a 15-minute trade, we go from 82% to 72%. We lose 10% by taking an expiration that will be longer. And we have like around 600 signal. So this value of 83% is quite reliable. And even if it's not 83 but around 79 or something like that, it's still very, very good probability to recover one trade. Not by increasing your amount, I don't want to do that, but placing the same amount, you will recover 3/4 of your loss if your level has broken just before. And that's what I did actually today to recover the signal that has broken, and nearly everything worked this way. So it really confirms that this strategy works. Signal touch before 12 GMT, so 12 midday. 62% of the signal touch before 12 midday and 37% of the signal touch after midday until midnight. So what does it mean? It means from the lunch of London until midnight GMT, you have 37 to 40% of our signals that will reach. So if we have 50 signal per day, you will have 6 signal on average only for the afternoon of London and the New York session. And if you play the Asian and the morning of London, you will take on average 10 signal per day. And if you do the whole London session until, like I would say, half of New York session, you should have around 10 trades to take on average also. We will try to improve our alert, of course. It will ask a lot more works to our dear admin Claire, but little by little we will try to improve the alert and to advise nearly everything. So that's my goal. Now, after those elements, now we have the analysis based on the day of the week. So we have Monday, same, our interesting value is 74% of winning trade. All the Mondays, so 4 Mondays during 1 month. Tuesday we have a lower winning rate, 70%. Wednesday we have 77%. Thursday 72%, and Friday it's our best day actually. Usually it's not everywhere else, but with us it is. And we have like 150 trades, so it's quite reliable, and we have 81% winning trade during the Friday, which is a very good day for us. Even when there is an NFP, we make quite a lot of money, so it's pretty cool. Yes, I agree. For the Asian session, I am making my analysis from 2 a.m. until 5 a.m. GMT. Sometimes it takes me 3 hours to analyze the 13 different pairs that we trade and to give you all the signal. On average there is around 60 signal per day, which is quite good. And out of that we know that there is 30 that reach every day, and 15 that are that we can take during safe moment. But during Asian session, honestly, expect when it's NFP that I rush a little to put you to give you a lot of trades during Asian session. Most of the time the trade starts to reach when it's London open and German around 5. I would say after 5 GMT the signal start to reach. So on average, in the morning for Asian session, there is not so much signals that reach. So the 10 signals that you will take per day will be from 5 GMT until 12 GMT actually, during 7 hours, for us who live in Asian time frame. Then, the win rate by news. Well, this is kinda nice, but we need some more data from some specific news. But for the news USD, it's quite reliable. We have 122 trades. The winning rate is 51.64%. So trading during USD news, it's not a catastrophe because we win 51% of the trade, which is not so bad, but we don't make profit because we need 56 to make profit. So the news for USD is really one of the most impacting, and most of the signal touch during this specific news. It's the biggest news we have. Then comes the news for Euro. The news for Euro, we have a little bit better winning rate, which is 62, 63% for the 30 minutes signal, and a lower, so it impact a lot the 5 minute signal, actually, especially when it's close. And about that, and about the German Open, since I was providing, as you can see, like 10% only of 5 minute setup, we don't have enough data to see if the German Open and the London Open are reliable for the 5 minute setup when they touch exactly when London Open, for example, or exactly when it's the Sydney closing. And I know round hours are impacting in the market, so I need to also fine-tune this kind of data, and maybe for the 5 minute setup we will advise to skip, like for example, if the expiration is between 5 minutes before and 5 minutes after, we will skip this signal to make you a little more secure of that. So the news Euro is also one of the most impacted news. So I would say news USD and news Euro you never trade. News GBP has a very bad winning rate, 48 also, but we have only 27 signal. So we have less signal to make a more reliable analysis, but 48% it's not good at all. So the news GBP really impacts the market, and I try to look if there is some currency pairs that are not affected by this kind of event. And for the three first, GBP, Euro and USD, and even Australia, odd news, they impact every currency pairs. I didn't see, no, I see one, but I will come back to it just a little later. But there is only one that I see that has no out of the money during the news of Euro, and it is USD CAD. But for the other one, they impact nearly everything. And I have out of the money for each news, and without, making difference of if there is not the currency in the pairs or all that. So it's, for now, it's too soon to analyze if some currency pair are less effective by some specific news. For now, honestly, all the news affect badly, because the result, as you can see, even the news CHF is 45%, the news CAD 62, so it's not good at all. The news RUB, the news from Russia, or this one, we have no out of the money, but we have only 6 trades that reach during this time. So it's not enough data to say anything, but for now it didn't impact our trades. The news New Zealand is in the same case scenario. We have only 6 trades and all the trade has been winning. So no impact for that. And for the news GPY, we have only 2 trades out of 700 that touched during the news GPY, and the 2 has been out of the money. So it was very impacting, but only 2 trades, so not enough reliable. Now, to summarize all the results and what we will do based on that. As you know, total of trade outside the news 337, 15 trades per day, number of trading days analyzed 23, all signal percentage growth. This is important. So as you can see, outside the news but with session opening we take 337, but if we remove the session opening we take only 234. The percentage, the winning rate, is nearly the same, but if it was a little better, for example, if you look at the 5 minute trades, since you have less trades you will make less profit for nearly the same winning rate. That's why when we will take the session opening, we might lower a little the winning rate, but in this case it's not the case. We have a better winning rate during the session, with the session opening and lunch, London, etc. And we make we double our, not double, but we make 1/3 more profit taking this. We are at 332% profit without the session opening, and we are at 486 with the session opening. So the growth is depend not all the time on the winning rate, but it depends also of the number of trade. And to illustrate that, you can look at the total of trades. If we take all the trade without filter, we arrive at the same total. Nearly, we have only 20% difference. We make 467% profit, taking all the trade without filtering anything. And the winning rate is only 64%. But since we double nearly the number of trade, we will make the same percentage growth of the account. And that means something very interesting. It means if you take all my signal without filtering the news, but if you take them correctly, you will still make profit. If you just take the trade, one trade, each times, same size, and you follow correctly the entry and the expiration. We don't know, it's never the case, but if from 64 you go to 56, for example, you still have 9% difference, and these 10% margin mistakes should not make you lose money taking all my signal, even during the news. Next topic. So the best expiration is for the 30-minute signal is the end of the next 15-minute candle closing after the first touch, and for the 5-minute it is the end of the next 5-minute candle after the first touch. From today we will advise everyone to take this specific expiration, so you will get the best result and everyone will get the same. And if you can't, because you use IQ, I mean, you can take it, because sometimes you will win, sometimes you will lose, and overall it should be around the same percentage, but I haven't computed yet. So you don't have data to rely on this kind of expiration based on IQ. About the session opening, we will trade everything, but we will still advise to lower a little the amount for the lunch of London, because we have a little lower probability of success for this one. So that's what we will aim to do with Claire. News trading, we will trade no news, and maybe we will make for the big impacting news 30 minutes before and 30 minutes after to put you in more safety. The best winning rate for the total, the best is gold, the second is euro odd, the third is odd USD, and after NZD USD. And the worst are USD GPY and GBP USD. But above the USD GPY, the lowest winning rate is 75%. So all the pairs, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 11, 12, 13 pairs. On those 13 pairs, all the pairs are above or to 75%, except USD GPY and GBP USD. So be careful with those two and maybe lower the amount also. Transformation of the support to resistance and vice versa. So it's clear that the 5-minute trades will be the one that we will take. And for the 5-minute signal we have 80% winning rate, and for the 15-minute signal, for the 30-minute signal, we have 83.79. So it's around 80 for both of them. So we will try to advise also this signal. When the level is broken, we will make an update and say this signal transform from a put for a call and vice versa, and it should make you also trade a lot more trade this way. So our signal reach most of the time during London and New York, actually, not so much during Asian. So best day of the week, the best day is Friday, and the worst day is Tuesday. Tuesday is the worst day in terms of winning rate. Impact of the news, so I explained you already. So we aim to take 15 trades per day, correctly advised, and I would say we aim to advise you for now 10 trades per day with Claire, and maybe more actually, because if we transform the support into resistance and the resistance into support, it will make, I believe, 20-25% more trades. So from 10 you can expect 12, maybe 15 already. And maybe during New York there will be 5 to 10 trades that will touch the same way. The best session opening is London Open. The worst is the lunch of London. That's it. Yeah, and the second best day is Wednesday, which is quite good. Yeah, so for the Euro news, I have no out of the money for the pair USD CAD. And there is no influence of the Euro news to the USD CAD until now, but we have only like maybe 10 trades on history, so not so much. For the news in general, we will still continue to avoid everything. If you want to follow correctly all the signal, I would advise that you work with two brokers, IQ and Binary.com for the asset, and IQ because it's a good broker also. And I will try to provide more 5-minute setup because I realized those setup were quite good. Even if we have only 75 signals that reach, the winning rate is really good. So I will continue to create 5-minute setup, and it will mean more trades during the day also. I will continue to make the analysis every morning, but I will not publish it every day. I will just make maybe one webinar each month to update you in general, and that's it. But it should stay around this one because it's already 700, so 700 it start to be a good trading result. And also I will make the pin post of the result channel, not channel, chat room, and I will update not all this information but quite some of them to remind you what are the best pairs, what are the worst, what is the right expiry to take, and so on and so forth. Just one last word. The track of the signal is the real track, and I can give you my file and you can track everything and you can compare to what we post on Facebook. And actually the results on Facebook are not exactly the same, but the SR and the expiry is, because sometimes a lot of people get in the money on IQ, but I don't take the IQ expiration, I take the exact end of the candle, so we might have little differences on this one. But for the track of the signal, I'm human, I might have made a mistake, but I'm 99% sure of the results that I have found there. That's it for today, and I think it's a lot of good news. And applying that in the next week, in the next months, we should make a lot more money. All of us. But this analysis is something that is very good because it shows the real result of our signal, and there is no, no margin for mistake. This is really what happens if you take the signal properly, and it also gives us a peace of mind because we have 700 trades. And we know out of 700 trades we make 64% winning if we take everything, even during the news, and we make a lot of profit. So it also gives us confidence, every one of us, to build on that. We will make the result on the long run. It's not based on one day, it's not based on one single trade. The outcome of one single trade should let you totally indifferent. Because what counts is not one trade outcome, but this is the result of all our trade. Or maybe we can't take all, I agree, but at least if we can take 200 out of 337, it's still 200 trades. In 20 days, it's 10 trades per day, and you need only 2 to 3 to make the 75% winning rate, and we have this 75% winning rate. So thank you for attending, and I believe you've get some useful information there, and even if all is not advised, because it will ask time for us to adapt also, to advise for the conversion from support to resistance correctly, and so we need a little adaptation time. On your own you can already trade more and be quite sure of the results that you will get. If you need the file, message me in private on Telegram and I will send you in private. Okay, we're good. So I wish you a great evening, and see you all tomorrow, and that's it for today. Bye! We are already at the end of the video. I hope you enjoy. Bye!